Hello everybody, Donnie here, and welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. I hope all of you are doing well and fine today. We're going to dive right into this. This is actually the continuation of the previous two stories. Update. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex after my wife turned it into a reward/punishment type of system? Original post. I think my wife is experiencing a phenomena called the 7 years itch right now. We are married to each other for 7 years now and did not have any serious problems beforehand. Around the end of 2023, she started offering sex for small gestures such as gifts and doing chores. For the last 7 years and since, I have been an independent adult. I make sure to handle my share of chores. She's offered mind-blowing sex for me doing her part of the chores, which I enjoyed at first. Then it turned into gifts and gestures. Mind you, these had all been present in our relationship for the last 7 years. Nothing out of the ordinary. That change happened literally overnight. Great sex life. Both take care of the other party's needs by communicating clearly and respecting their wishes. Even though it was good at first, it turned into a form of reward/punishment later on. You did not do X, no sex for you, or good. You did this, we can have sex. I asked her what is the deal with this. She said that she did not do it before. She said that she gets turned on and feels emotionally connected when I put extra effort into the relationship. I just rolled my eyes at that. What did even change overnight for it to happen? I should have asked it back then. It has been a few months since this started and I could not take it anymore. I started refusing her advances because it's such a turnoff for me. Yesterday she came to me and said, "You did the chores, I think you deserve a reward." I told her I do not know where you've seen this, but it's getting out of hand. I'm not Pavlov's dog where you are giving a threat or a punishment to. Communicate with me if there is something wrong, but this change you had overnight is ridiculous. Do you expect me to beg for it and obey you in every case? You're making me feel like I have not contributed anything to chores or do not show you any gestures before that. Just tell me what is happening, because if we are going to change every good aspect of our relationship because you saw it somewhere else, this relationship will die out faster than a candlestick. She stormed out crying and slept on the couch. I am getting cold-shouldered now. Did my wife turn into an 8-year-old child or what? What is this sudden change, and am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex with her and calling her out on her behavior? No, not at all. I would appreciate advice, especially from women. Now for the comments before reading the update. You need to tell her that it's one thing if this is some kind of kink for her that can be innocent enough. It's another thing if she is using sex to change the power dynamic within the relationship. That's just plain wrong. My wife has occasionally treated me like shit like that, and I call her out on it immediately and tell her it's disgusting to me. I don't want a relationship where sex is a transactional in that way, where it becomes about reward and punishment. It loses its intimacy that way and it just becomes something cheap. All that being said, it's normal for a woman to be made more in the mood when their partner has done some form of act of service for them. They generally really do appreciate when something has been taken off of their plate by a partner that is just trying to make their life a little easier that day, and that can totally trigger a response of intimacy. So I tell her it's one thing if she wants to show you her appreciation for going above and beyond in some way, but it's entirely another thing for her to make the intimacy dependent on or tell you that it is withholding intimacy because you failed to do something that she now expects. Make it clear to her that that's wrong and you won't have that, but also make it clear to her it's because you love her and desire her true intimacy, not one that is bargained for. She may very well have been thinking this was something cute along the way and has been getting a little off on it and a little change in power dynamics and simply hasn't realized she took it too far and that it was bothering you. She probably didn't truly have any ill intent, and my guess is when you called her out on it, she felt embarrassed, rejected, and your comment about it will take down the relationship probably hurt her quite a bit because in her mind, this was all harmless and fun, and now all of a sudden she is being told the relationship could be on the line. That type of stuff can really hit a woman deep. I'd say that the only place that you probably went too far so far is advice is reassure her about your commitment to her and then explain why what she was doing bothered you so much, and I hope my advice helps. Hey mate, love you, and this comment is incredibly nuanced and insightful, but please, and by this I mean I am begging you, please plug each statement, speculation, observation, cause and effect into their own separate sentences and then group those up into their own separate paragraphs. I had to go back like 5 times because my eyes would lose track of what light they were on when going from right to left. Now for the update. I was planning to talk to my wife today, but surprisingly, she came to talk to me in the early morning during breakfast. She apologized and told me the things that I said made her understand that she hurt me, and she felt terrible for that. She told me that she took it too far without reading my reactions. I also apologized for telling her off like that and losing control of my emotions. We had a great discussion about what happened, why it happened, and our marriage in general. I asked her if she thought my gestures were not enough, and she thought the share of the chores were unfair. She said it's not like that, and there is no problem with sharing of chores nor my gestures. She has been feeling less confident in adding a new dynamic to her relationship by making me try more made her feel better, just like before we were married. Also, she told me having less things to do allowed her to completely focus on me and turned her on more. She also stated that she was feeling shy initiating due to her confidence in this dynamic helped her to initiate. I asked if she was happy with her sex life and me. She said that she is more than happy and reward/punishment thing has nothing to do with it. My final question was, if she had this kind of kink, she said maybe she felt good playing like that, but accepted turning the whole sex life thing into this was terrible for her. I agreed. While it was good in the beginning, turning the whole sex life into a reward/punishment system and doing it all the time became a problem. I told her I'm okay with that kind of play or any kind of play as long as it's communicated. I am a freak, so no problem from my side. We had more talk about private things, but in the end, we communicated our thoughts and feelings to each other clearly. In the end, she told me that maybe I should reward her for being a good girl this time, and this awakened something sleeping in me. I do not know if I will be able to wait for the night. Finally, there were some people demonizing my wife and telling me to divorce or find an affair right away. On the other hand, some declared me as a deadbeat husband, abusing my wife by making her mommy me, even though I clearly stated it's not like that in the post. Why people love assuming things with zero information like that to make one party feel guilty? Chill. The problem is solved, and I would say that with that challenge, our love and sex life will level up from the looks of it. Thank you all for the suggestions and help. Cheers. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for ignoring our daughter's inconvenient boundary plus update? Original post. My wife, 39 female, and I, 36 female, have a daughter, technically my stepdaughter, but I've raised her since she was 5. 19 female, from a previous relationship of my wife's. Her father is not in the picture, who has come back home after her first year at the uni. She picked up a new and problematic issue since she was last home for an extended period of time surrounding laundry. Basically, she has established a boundary where nobody is to touch her clothes. Her reasoning is that she's concerned something will go missing, get damaged, think it's just gross for us to go through her stuff, and is an adult who deserves privacy. Well, fine, we have 3 young children in our home, 9 female, and 2 male. So plenty of washing to keep us entertained. The issue is that she has a habit of monopolizing washing facilities to the extent where we're effectively prevented from being able to get other laundry done. For example, last weekend she put in a wash before work and hung it out on the line at around 11 a.m. She then left for work 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Her wash was dry within an hour, and obviously she wasn't going to be back all day. We had a few days worth of washing to get through, so my wife, her mom, took everything off the line and folded it. We got through 5 other loads that day. She was not happy when she got home and said that she has been very clear that we weren't to touch her things. When we explained the situation above, she said it was first come, first serve, not something we've ever said, and that since the next day was due to be nice also, we should have just waited for her to get to the next day. That really pissed us off. It pissed me off too. Really, does she own that house or something? We've offered her a weekly laundry day where we all avoid using the machine so that she can have freedom to do as what she pleases on that day. But she said once a week won't cut it. Fair enough. There are 5 other people in the house that need clean clothes, bedding, and towels. Other than that, we all can really suggest is that she keeps on top of her washing if she's at home, and we'll ask her to clear her clothes from the washing machine, dryer, and washing line as needed. But like any other 19-year-old, she has a social life, work commitments, and is often busy. She's upset because she says we're not respecting her boundaries. Whereas we've pointed out that while don't move my clothes is objectively reasonable, it's not fair for her to do so at the inconvenience of everyone else in her home. Essentially, in the last conversation, we had ended up with her in tears because we said as long as situations like Saturday keep occurring, we'll continue to move her stuff. Just FYI, we do fold her clothes carefully and leave them in a basket in a communal living area so they're kept together in good condition, and we're not going in and out of her room. We normally have a good relationship with her, so this is all a bit unusual. We've asked her if everything else is okay, and she says yes, and seems otherwise normal in and of herself, and she's normally reasonable, so are we being unreasonable? Not at all. Edit. So the consensus is pretty much that we're right and our daughter is being massively unreasonable and that we're being pushovers for not being tougher on her from the off. We've shown her the comments and unfortunately she's still insisting that we're the unreasonable ones. We've never considered the local laundromat and have banned her from using her washing machine for the next fortnight given that she's still unwilling to adjust. She's absolutely furious and wife has ordered a lock for the washroom door to enforce the 2-week rule. Hopefully, a couple of weeks of hauling her stuff to and from will help her see the light. Thanks very much, all. Additional comments. Commenter. It seems as if she's getting boundary and royal edict very confused because it's quite obvious this girl thinks she is a princess. Very entitled, I must add. When you live with 5 other people, especially small children, that can go through a department store's worth of clothes in a day, you don't get to monopolize the laundry facilities. The next time she leaves her laundry on the line and leaves for a 10-hour shift, I would be tempted to pull off the leaf blower, blow all the clothes off the line, and blame it on the wind. That's funny. OP. Yeah, this is what's really bothering us. The kids can go through so much stuff. It's really a stressful time for everyone as we have been temporarily have custody of sister-in-law's son, the 2-year-old male, no fault of her own, so we're all adjusting and we really don't need this. I'd forgotten how much toddlers get through. Commenter. Girly is missing the part of boundaries where it's meant to be if you do X, I will respond with Y. What is her response other than pitching a hissy fit? That's not a constructive thing for anyone. Commenter, not the a-hole, but if she's crying about this boundary and is advocating so fiercely for it, I imagine seeing something happen regarding her laundry and she is feeling vulnerable. As an example, the first time I lived on my own, someone I did not know went through my clothing and picked out all of my dirty underwear. That's gross. They left it in a pile in my room that I never would have made. I felt so violated and had no idea who did it or why. I felt extremely sexualized and vulnerable. All I can imagine is someone looked closely enough at my clean and dirty piles to figure out what underwear was dirty. Did they sniff it? Oh, that's disgusting. Did they steal some? Did they jack off to it? Oh, my grossness. OOP. I've actually discussed this with her as something similar happened to me at uni, and it really stuck with me. She said no, and I asked her what happened when she left her laundry laying around at the uni. Little or no response. I think it's more likely that she had her things dumped out on the floor or something and is pushing back at us out of frustration. I'm not against therapy, and our 2 younger daughters are actually in therapy now, but I'm not seeing any major trauma here. Thanks for the insight, though, as it's really valuable. OOP to another commenter asking her if something happened. I cannot stress enough how many conversations we've had about this. Has something happened? Is everything else okay? Is there something she's worried about, etc.? By no means is this a knee-jerk reaction. It's been almost a month of this, and we're sick of being lectured for us using our own washing-drying facilities. Commenter info. Who washes clothes that often? Does she have like 2 outfits? Is it a germ thing? Is it a safety thing? Seems like a random behavior to have. Makes me think that there's a larger issue. OOP, I mean, she usually takes about 3 loads a week, but between bedding, darks, whites, I don't think that's crazy. I think we're definitely in a difficult place now because we're already under a lot of stress. 2 male is not ours, but sister-in-law who has temporary custody of, and it might be that we went a bit far tonight. I'm a bit at the end of my rope with solutions. I guess it's just so maddeningly unreasonable. OOP to a different commenter. 0 other signs of OCD. Her personal hygiene habits haven't changed. No other new quirks, etc. Just this issue. Thanks, though. One more thought from OOP to a long comment. Yeah, I totally appreciate that she's somewhat flexing her muscles as a new adult on this, and part of what we're trying to reiterate is that we're not treating her like a child by wanting her to be more amendable on this. If my wife was regularly leaving loads in the machine and snapping at me for moving them, I'd have a problem with that too. It's not a parent-child thing. Way more of an adult-adult situation. Now for the update. Update/edit 2. A slightly calmer update this morning. Our daughter came to talk to us and apologize for the situation. She said that she had found the transition back home hard. I get that. And had maybe become a bit territorial over her stuff while at the uni. All okay. She then asked if she could please have a laundry day and be allowed to use the machine. Her place of work is closed on Monday, so that is now her day, and we've said that she can use the machine on other days, but by 7 a.m. Tuesday, there's anything in the way or any issues on any other days, we'll be moving her stuff. A genuine sorry goes a long way with us, and while the advice has become a firm hold, we don't really want an issue if the situation can be resolved calmly. We've also made it clear that if her things do have to be moved on any day, other than Monday, which is totally hers, and we get any grief about it, we'll go back to a 2-week ban and there's no going back. Maybe a less satisfying update than the last one, but we're happy we can resolve the problem calmly. She did mention she'd read through some of these comments last night, so thank you to everyone that weighed in. Editor's note, marked as concluded since Monday has passed and we haven't gotten an update saying things haven't gone well. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.